in that spare room of that studio in this cramped space, and we've got artists coming in and out of that room as well, seeing what we're fucking doing, this, that, bro. We're trying to write while it is fucking, there's 20 other artists trying to write, yelling this, that out the side and shit, bro.
Yeah,
that was a wild night. Crazy.
Hey, listen to my track.
Welcome back to the Culture Show. I am Nay Six, here with the bro. Introduce yourself, cuzzy.
OB, let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you fucking feeling this morning, this afternoon, bro? I'm seedy as fuck.
Yeah, I'm pretty seedy, bro.
It was a rough night.
Yeah,
it was a rough night, wasn't it? We were fucking celebrating Marshall Street's 5th anniversary. Shout out Marshall, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Marshall.
But yeah, no, it was more of a fucking wedding than anything with the open bar and, and whatnot. So they fucked us up a little bit here.
That was a good night.
It was a crazy night, wasn't it? For real. We got a sick guest on today as well. Crazy guest. We're just waiting for him to pull up. So we just thought I'd have fucking bit of a yarn with you before we're waiting for him and shit. Fuck, bro. What's been on in your week? What's been happening, lad?
Fair bit, bro. To be honest, yeah, just working. You know, the usual. We got show tomorrow.
Yeah, up in Shepparton. Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah, very busy, huh?
You know, just the usual.
Yeah,
Yourself?
bro. Yeah, man. Same shit. Just been working on this podcast. Been doing the edits, the reels, bro. By the time this comes out, we would have tonight. The first ever episode drops.
Yeah.
Culture.
Finally.
EST 2023. You know what I mean, bro? Yeah, finally. Dead set, man. But yeah, nah, man. Fuck, I'm so seedy. Hey.
Yeah, bro.
I keep trying to like convince myself, like, nah, you're eats, bar. You're on the mic now. You're eats, but nah, I'm really not.
What about that shit on social media with that girl getting like kidnapped and tortured? Did you see that?
That Rashina.
Oh, I don't know.
Renisha.
Yeah,
was that the 14-year-old?
Yeah.
And she got invited over for a sleepover or something, and they tortured her, bro.
It's disgusting.
Ain't it wild? 14-year-olds, bro. I watched the video of them doing it too, bro. It's all over Reddit and shit, bro. Fucking wild, bro. Putrid as well, man. But she's got to come quick. I watch a lot of shit on TikTok, and there's people, they've had to leave their rental, and the girl who did it has had to move back to New Zealand, like forced to, and she's not even safe there, bro. They've left the rental. They had people throwing muzzle toss through their windows and shit, bricks through their windows.
That's it.
And now they've left, and they left everything there. There's people on TikTok going through their house and shit. They've left everything there, bro. They just up and left, you know. So crazy as fuck shit. Andrew Tate is free today. The Tate brothers, fucking crazy shit. Man.
It's been a big week, huh?
It has been, bro, fucking. And we were just talking about this the exact same day that, how many years ago? 1999, March 31st, The Matrix came out. March 31st, 2023, Andrew Tate came out. you hear me? Tell me about the coincidence.
That's it.
Yeah, but man, where is our guest? Where is our guest? Yeah, bro, I'm trying to think what else there is to talk about. I have no brain right now. I have zero brain.
We don't have a guest today. It's just me and you, Nate.
It's just us. It's just an old boys episode. That's Oj.
Let's go.
Nah, man. Liam and his missus brought out the fucking beer bong last night. That was wild. I felt like I was from the Nelk Boys. That was fucking crazy. That was crazy as fuck. What else happened last night? Let's just do a little recap while we're waiting for the guest.
Fuck, I don't know. It was a pretty big night.
I was pretty drunk.
Yeah, I got way too lit.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah, 100%. What did we do, bro? We fucking... Ray Pelker performed. He was fire. Zoo James performed. He's sick. We got to have him on the potty soon, bro. Like, that Zoo James kid is fucking crazy as shit. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fucking message this motherfucker, bro. We're not cutting this part either. This is staying in, bro. This is staying in. Where is he? I'm gonna call him. Hold on. I'm calling Yambra. Yo. You're on speaker. We're live. We're just wondering where our guest is at. Okay, bet. You coming in? I'll see you in a second. Later. He's coming. He's here. You don't even know who that was yet. I haven't said his name, have I? Yeah, no, you don't even know who that was yet. He's not yet either. Do not walk in front of the camera guest. That door's just opened, and you won't say who it is. Come in, bro. Just come in. Yeah, just don't sit on the chair yet. Man, well, I don't know, bro. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we bring him on?
No, I reckon
The Marshall recap from last night.
I reckon let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it on. All right. As per usual, we've got our little intros, bro. I'm fucking getting good at these things. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I wrote this one dusty this morning as well, bro. Dusty. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today has to have one of the fastest growing careers in the Australian music scene I have ever witnessed. With only 1.5 years into releasing music, he has already surpassed 85,000 streams on his latest release and boasting multiple other singles with 5-digit streams next to them. He has already played on a lineup at a list of elite and iconic venues such as Sydney Music Myer and is only going to keep coming forward. To tell us about that and more, it's our friend and your favourite artist, YAMBRA. Let's go, bro. What's goody, bro? Oh shit! We caught that in 4K. Let's go. He's our first guest to fall. Fucking oath, man. Fucking oath. What's happening, homie?
Welcome, YAMBRA.
What's doing, boys?
It's good to finally get you on, bro. It's good to finally get you on, man.
Excited, quite excited.
Yes, sir. We've been trying for a hot minute to get you on, bro. But you're a fucking busy person these days, bro.
Yeah,
fucking hard to get you booked, lad. You know.
No, just don't drive in peak hour.
That's it. Bro, tell Joe Rogan he's not coming on the podcast if it's peak hour. You ever don't care. Yeah, we don't give a fuck. No, I'm good, man. Let's bro, there's a lot to touch on. There's a shitload to touch on. As I was saying to you earlier, like, most people know we're all homies and shit. We're out together all the time. People know this. So most of the shit we're asking today is for the audience, of course, and stuff, bro. So I'll take it, as we do with most people, bro. I'll take it back to the start, man. Like, where'd you grow up?
Grew up in central Victoria, Castlemaine, Bendigo, and then moved to Melbourne and lived in Reservoir.
What age was this, where you moved up to Melbourne?
4, 5? Oh, probably 5, I think. Yeah, 5, 6.
Oh,
5 or
so
6.
young,
Yeah,
so
actually 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of you sort of started school, and when you first started making friends, it was down in the north, up in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Right. Sick. And leading on that, what was the background growing up like in terms of the music that was being played around the house from your parents and shit? And
it was all 90s R&B, hip hop. That's all we ever listened to.
Yeah,
like being a young kid, mum would be chucking on tunes, and while we're doing chores around the house or cleaning up the backyard and that. Yeah.
Blaring
from the speakers. Yeah.
Very musical family, or?
Yeah. My sisters and my mum, they can all sing pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Have they? I know, and we'll touch on that a little bit if you want to later. But I know your ma is really good and does events and stuff like that. Would they? Because you said they're good singers as well. Did they ever pursue anything like that with their voices as well, or? Nah, nothing?
Nah. YAMBRA's the only one.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Quite a musical family though, just, yeah.
Yep, 100%, bro, 100%. So when do you think for you it started in the aspect of, so you're growing up, you know, mum's chucking on 90s R&B and hip-hop around the house while you're cleaning up, doing your chores, you're just hanging, being family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When do you think that sort of transpired into, all right, let me have a suss at writing and let me have a crack? Talk about that a little bit, bro.
I think when I was younger, we used to have these barbecues and stuff like on a Friday night, and have some family come around, or even just our immediate family. You know, I've got a big mob of family.
Yes, sir.
So we'd have our own little versions of Australian Idol.
Yes, that's right.
So while everyone's eating and that, you know, for that week prior, I'd be sitting there and, you know, because sometimes we didn't have internet.
Yep.
So I'd be sitting there listening off my phone or off whatever I could of like a Chris Brown track with you.
Yes.
And I'd sit down and repeat the song 1,000 times, write down all the lyrics in a little notepad, rehearse the shit out of it, bro. And then Friday night comes, bro, and I'm out there just pumping that shit in front of the family.
I am Chris Breezy for that night, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 3 yeses.
Yes, you have the X factor. Nah, 100%, bro. So you definitely had that dream of being a performer and an artist, and that drive was obviously there from a young age. Do you know what sort of made you realize that this is what you want to do, or would you think it was that because you're a child and you're like, this is my dream? You know what I mean?
Influences, like, who was your biggest influence that made you kind of think this is what I want to do?
Bro, like honestly, like with my don't have any.
Don't have any influences.
Nah, there's not anyone that I've really looked up to in terms of music. Right, honestly,
right.
like
even outside of music, do you think there's any influences that sort of
that steered me that way. Obviously my family, my mum and that from, you know, those times singing and those sort of, you know, creative space that we had at home even. One of the homies, Cam Camino, he's definitely talented. One of the people that sort of pushed me in that direction because he's seen that I sort of, you know, had this little ember growing inside of me in lockdown, you know. So I used to whip over there in lockdown over to Glen Iris, and he's a producer.
And one of the most fucking
incredible, bro. Straight out, just incredible. And we'll just sit there, listen to music, and then just start writing. And that's sort of how that started. And then I linked with you. And another reason, you know, we made that track in one night.
And it all transpired very naturally. So you sort of lockdown's brewing. I'm guessing you're sort of in a weird, wacky space like everyone was during lockdown. And so you kind of like, fuck it, let me finally give this a crack. You're going over to homie Cam's house, you know what I mean? And it's and you're starting to build these plans in your head every night as you're going home, I guess, you know what I mean? And then obviously, bro, we've got to talk about that, the infamous night. That started this whole thing we've been doing together for almost 2 years now of storming. You know what I mean, bro? Your first single. Let's talk on that a little bit, bro. And what kind of led to that. And obviously, I know most of us were there and shouldn't know the story, but just for the people at home, because it was your first single and it was only a year and a half ago, man. You know, so it's maybe a little bit more than that now, but like bro. It's like it's crazy how far it's come from. As I said, it transpired so naturally, bro. You were. Not to yarn about it too much on the same question, but you were, as I said, you were, you know, going over to homie Cam's house and sorting it all out and realizing it's what you want to do. And then it naturally transpired to, we didn't plan to write Stormin', you know? And for context for people at home, I'll let you tell the story. But essentially, I'd only known homie for like, 2 months, 3 months at this point, something like that.
I only met a couple of times before that.
Yeah, exactly. We only met a couple of times prior. And I was house sitting a studio at the time. And YAMBRA came around for a couple of drinks and stuff at the studio that I was house sitting, and then I think we were just drunk as fuck in the studio, bro. And I didn't know how to engineer it, so we couldn't use none of the equipment. But we just sat there and we just wrote Stormin', innit?
Yeah.
You know
he was going through a beat pack.
Yeah, Ishquan. Shout out Ishquan.
Shout out to Ishquan. He got to like the third track, and I was like, that one. Yeah, and then I was like, let's go. We were like, let's go in the room, and so we sat in the room within like, I don't know, 20 minutes, the hook was written. Yeah, bro. And then we started, just helping each other write our verses for it.
And it's like, to set the scene for y'all at home, man, it's like maybe at the time in that house, Ishquan had a session on in the studio. It's like 20 artists in that house, bro.
Yeah.
And me, shout out Phoenix, Phoenix and YAMBRA, we're in the spare room of that studio, bro. You know the studio I'm talking about. We're in that spare room of that studio, in this cramped space, and we've got artists coming in and out of that room as well, seeing what we're fucking doing, this, that, bro. We're trying to write while it is fucking, there's 20 other artists trying to write, yelling this, that out the side and shit, bro. That was a wild night. Crazy.
Hey, listen to my track.
Man, I can't even remember what happened, bro. Do you remember? Let's talk about it. So when we made Stormin', bro, what was your... Well, because that being your first single, and it's like you finally got it out of the way, you finally recorded your first single. What was the headspace now? Because you've gone from doing the Cam thing to where that was the brewing to now you finally created your first single in the studio, wrote it, created it, recorded it. What's the mindset then? Where were you looking at taking it there?
I suppose I was still on a journey of finding my sound. Yeah, you know, because that was sort of just like, you know, when you start anything, that's like that entry level. So, I was on a journey to finding my own sound, and then, you know, back to the homie Cam Camino. You know, he was giving me all the little rules and notes and, you know, keys. Yeah. You know, he's talking to me about how, you know, all of the copyrights and every mortal background thing. You know, and he was just giving as much as he could, you know, to help me. Or how, just the ins and outs of, you know, how to even just get your music onto Spotify.
Kind of, he was the sorcerer, you know what I mean? You were the apprentice type of
situation. For real.
I'm with you.
So big love for him. And then, sort of just going forward and released by my side. And, you know, when I started hearing those little guitar licks and whatnot, I think that R&B feel was just like, you know, something new, different. I haven't heard anyone else really do it. And then, it sort of just fell more into my own style.
Well, that's the thing that's so interesting because you found it really quick. You know what I mean? Like I was making music for 8 years, bro, and I'm still switching sounds every track. You know what I mean, bro? You found your sound very quick, and it was cool, man. It was really cool to watch because we did Stormin', we dropped Stormin', and people were like, okay, cool, YAMBRA's got a little something. Because that was your first little introduction. People were like, YAMBRA's got a little something. Got a couple of players on Triple J, and people were like, cool, that's a cool debut. Do you know what I mean? And then, as you said, you put out By My Side and started really giving people a taste of those guitar strings and that melodic voice and the R&B and that 90s R&B, I don't want to say influence because you said you weren't influenced by any particular artist, but...
It's a little bit nostalgic.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. It's nostalgic, you know what I mean? But it was cool to watch, bro, because I said in the intro that like one of the fastest growing careers at the moment I've seen in Oz music because it's... You dropped the first song and people didn't even know if that was your sound yet. That was the sound I was doing at the moment, which is why it worked so well when we wrote it, because we wrote that from what we know. You know what I mean? Because you hadn't worked out your sound. And it worked. It did well, but it really kind of made the factor of, okay, this is YAMBRA after By My Side and stuff like that, bro. So kind of leading on that, where do you think that comes from, bro? I know you said it's nostalgic, and I know you said you grew up on that type of music and that type of influence, I guess. But is that just what hit you the most? That's just what you felt related to you the most, is that genre of music? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I started trying to write, I started writing poetry when I was 17.
Yep.
And that sort of went into more poetic rap expressions, and then I was trying to write rap, but it just wasn't it.
It
wasn't it, bro?
Your Facebook videos back in the day.
Yeah, bro. I was like singing my own little hooks and whatnot, and then doing a little rap verse and what. But the rapping wasn't really it.
But even let's get into that, bro, because that's even interesting as fuck. Like, and that was when you go back and watch that, it's very deep and it's very raw. Whereas your music now, and if you listen to it, it's storytelling, like especially like Burn and stuff. But it's majority of it's love stories and stuff. So there's a big change in the topic. So when you started poetry at 16, 17, like you were saying, what kind of influenced you into wanting to start that? Did that come from sort of stuff you were going through and it was helping you through that? Talk on that a little bit, bro.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. It wasn't, I don't think there was anything that necessarily triggered poetry for me. I think it just sort of happened, and it was a way to cope with, like, at the time, dealing with like my first like heartbreak sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then writing poetry was just a way for me to, vent to myself.
Of course.
And then, that's just transformed until, I started releasing little videos of like half-written songs on Facebook. And whatnot. And then,
Yeah, fucking oath, bro, fucking oath. Yeah. So when you started releasing videos on Facebook and stuff, bro, what was the reaction like there? Was that enough to be like, oh, this is something I think I'm going to... You know what I mean?
A couple of them, yeah. There's a few that I was just like, all right, a little bit of clout, okay.
Give me them clout tokens. Yes, sir, 100%, man. Man, something, do you got anything to touch on? I just want to make sure I wasn't fucking... I have a habit, bro.
Hugging the mic.
I do it to Donnie all the time, bro. Shout out Donnie. We are missing him today, by the way. He's had a hell of fucking... what's called busy night. He was working till like 6 a.m. Got bopped in the nose this morning as well, bro. Fucking, he's had a rough one. Yeah, bro. Bless. Yeah, he's had a rough one. But shout out Donnie. But I've got a habit with this shit because we've just started. I've got a habit of just fucking talking and not looking around to see if any of
it's not just when the mic's on, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah, you just when you're looking at the footage later, you see Liam keep trying to.
Bro, not even that. Like, Donnie straight up called me out on it after the last episode. He's like, bro, you can talk. He's like, I couldn't get a word in. Even the Danny episode, because that guy talks like a motherfucker too, you know what I mean? So me and him, it's through the whole episode, man. But yeah, bro, I wanna touch on what you're starting to do at the moment, bro, in terms of what are you planning to do next? It's a new year. I know you've dropped one single this year so far, right? I know you've just dropped Open Verse Challenge, which people would know about by the time this comes out because it's been out anyway and stuff. So when are you thinking of if you can give us a rough estimate, will it be out by the time this comes out, you reckon? Or
I don't know, man.
Yeah?
Still trying to find a good drill rapper or someone to spit a verse on it. But the thing is, like, if I can't find anyone, then I'm just going to have to do it. I'll probably do a better job anyway. I was just trying to give an opportunity for someone.
I'm trying to give y'all. Nah,
I'm just letting you in before I blow up, bro.
But however, you have to be good already. Yeah. 100%, bro. So that's going to be a crazy mix up too. That R&B. It already is, because you've already got that R&B voice on like the drill type fucking beat, bro. So that's already going nuts. You know what I mean, man?
Different, yeah.
Very different, very different. A lot of people have come up to me, even last night at the Marshall party and stuff, were coming up to me and saying it was crazy to hear you on a drill beat. You know what I mean, bro? Because as we were just talking about, you very quickly made YAMBRA's sound and image, those acoustic strings and this and that. So to hear you on some shit where you could be like, "Whoa, dude," you know, it's festival music, bro, where you can get the crowd G'd the fuck up. It's a cool change, you know.
Yeah,
and you show them, okay, I can do this. Now let's see. Now you guys can see I can do this too.
Yeah.
But I need someone who already does this to come on and do this with me. It's also a form of paying homage, I guess, too, because you're going into
another genre. I'm like crossing over a little bit.
On it,
yeah.
I'm with you.
But I think there's like little complications with that, you know. Like, you know, say if I had the coin to say get Lizzie or someone to jump on it.
Yeah.
You know, he's up in like Brisbane, bro. You know, so like if I'm doing a festival down in Vic. It's like, well, then I don't have my feature. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Spit his verse. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I've like been tossing and turning about. Is just like whether I just body the next verse myself and like keep that energy and keep it up where I need it for the track and have that mad atmospheric live set for that song, or, you know, take the chance of maybe getting an artist to be able to come play that track every so often when it's getting put on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, that's where I guess you run into small issues when it comes to features from interstate or from a different country. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of the bigger artists are out of our state and are in another country, and so it's kind of like these guys most of them are open to work and stuff. But as you said, you do run into that issue, and it's kind of like most of these guys will come down to play, but you're going to have to cop their flights.
Their
accommodation. Yeah, man. I want to run on that though, bro. What's your thoughts, bro, on artists charging for features? Because I know that's especially in the underground, that's a very touchy subject, bro. Some people are with it 100%. Some people are kind of like, you have no value, so I just want to work with you. There's no reason for me to pay to work with you though. Like, this, that. Like some people think that it's arrogant. I personally believe it shows that you know your self-value.
Yeah.
When I was making music, bro, I was charging for features and stuff like that. I know you charge for features, etc. And whatnot. But I know there is a big fucking pool of artists in this industry that think it is very arrogant to charge for a feature, especially if it's not going to be bringing the views or something that a big feature would. But with that being said, we're not charging 30, 40, 50 racks for a verse.
Yeah.
We're charging the fee to pay the studio
time to record it. Yeah.
So you're still paying for your song. You're just paying for me to hop on your song. You know what I mean? And you're paying for the utilities for me to do that for you.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that, bro?
Look, like honestly, I get people asking to like do a track all the time, like straight out, and I just like, you know, like, nah, I'm not doing features because, regardless, like if someone that I don't think I think their track is up to quality of where I'm at and like my capabilities as an artist and what I can bring to that, then they could be like, bro, I'll give you $5,000. I'm still gonna turn it down because I don't want my name attached to something that's gonna be, you know, poor quality.
And you are the first artist I've met in this industry to back that up too, bro. Because you have no features. The only features you have out is literally me, bro. But that's all by choice because I've seen the amount of people who message you for features, and you are the pickiest artist I've met in my life. Nothing, bro.
Bro, like, I'm broke as shit, by the way. So I'll still turn them down right now,
bro. It's fucked. I will take for every 5 features I say yes to, he said no to 10 of them. Like, is the best way to put it. You know what I mean, bro? For every like bag I've made, he's turned down 7 bags. You know what I mean, bro? Like it's just as easy as it is. But it's that really massive aspect, in my opinion, bro. Is there is no one here with that soft guitar string, R&B, melodic like sounds, you know what I mean? No one has it, and it coincides with hip hop so massively, and it always has. As you said, the music you grew up on, bro, was 90s hip hop and 90s R&B. They coincide so is that the right word? Coincide? Yeah. So fucking well. You know what I mean, bro? So it's, and there's no one really.
Not really. I think there's maybe one person who I give like pay homage to. I'm a massive fan of their music, which would be Filler.
Yeah, of course.
You know, he's sort of on that same vibe, but even, you know, when you talk about instrumentals in comparison, completely opposite.
Opposite, bro.
But,
opposite ends.
But in terms of like, you know, lyrically or like, you know, from singing and sing rap, he's probably the only other person I know in sort of Australia probably that does that.
I'll agree with you, but I also have a little bit of pushback on that because yes, you're correct. He does do it and he can do it, but he can also do everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he does release everything else where you've made it very clear from the start, yo, what's good? My name's YAMBRA. This is my sound. I do, yeah. You know what I mean, bro? And obviously you do mix it up and you jump on drill when you need to. Put your fucking phone on silent. What are you doing, cunt? Obviously, you need to fuck. That was our cameraman. Fuck, I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying there?
Oh, bro. Can't remember.
Cut.
I love this shit. This is fucking, this is natural. Basically, why do you think, bro, you're such a sought after artist when it comes to features? What's your honest opinion on that?
You know what? I wouldn't go as far as saying like sought after. I mean, just more in terms of the fact of like artists who are now entering the game as it is in Melbourne or for me in Melbourne, when you have that connection with them outside of music before, you know, they were starting to release tracks or whatever and they start getting in, of course they want to get you on a feature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. And those are those sort of difficult conversations you have to have. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'll have homies like, let's jump on a track together. You know, I need you. I want to, you know, I need to do this. And it's like, I got the most love for them. But at the same time, it's like where I'm at, I'm not saying that I'm better than you, but where I'm at and how much time I've put in already, it's just on a different level. You know what I mean?
And it's even 100%. And even running on that, man, it's like all artists, especially independent artists, you're your own business and you're running your own business. Yeah,
exactly.
You need to move accordingly. And man, say you run a fucking cafe, right? You're not going to fucking, say you run a cafe and it gets really successful in 2 years because you stopped using these shit coffee beans you were getting. Once you get successful, you're not going to go back to those shit coffee beans. That's the best way to put it. You know what I mean, bro? Like, it's running the business and it's sometimes it's savage and it hurts because these people can be your friends sometimes. And they think that because you're in a position to where you've gained this talent, you've put in your hours and you're now a recording artist, you know what you're doing. Some of these guys, they don't put in that full seriousness and they think, oh, he has though. So let me get that off him. Let me get a feature of him. And then people are going to be looking at me the same because otherwise he wouldn't hop on anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, bro? Which is a position you've put yourself in slowly as well. And it's only going to get bigger as you get bigger.
100%.
Because of the fact that you don't just hop on anything. When you do hop on things, it's your value is going to be huge for your feature rate because it's going to be massive because cunt's going to be like, this guy don't do features. You're going to be J. Cole for the first 4 years of his career and hop on nothing, you know what I mean? So the moment he did 500K feature rate, you know what I mean, bro? It's insane. Or it's nothing at all. You just fuck with the ones you love, you know what I mean, bro? And do that shit.
And that's the thing though, bro. Like you can, you know, I could be that artist who's like, oh, yeah, we'll do a track. I'll do a feature for you. I'll do a feature for you. We'll jump on a track. Let's jam. We'll put a track out. And it's just like, all right, well, now I've got 8-9 tracks out in 2 months with a bunch of different people. But at what quality are those tracks? 100%. We can get them recorded, professionally mixed, mastered. But what quality are they at? Because it's literally comes down to the person that is on the track with you. You know what I mean?
And even saying that, bro, it makes me realize it even comes down to the artist because I know.
Yeah, it does.
I know artists over in the States who are making $30K a month because they've dropped 13 albums in the 1 year and they've put quantity over quality. And it's not doing major shit, but they're making like 30K a month from streams because they're independent and that's 30 EPs. You know what I mean? But it's not great music. It's not music that's going to stick. It's just making money. You know what I mean? But that's the difference. And that's the difference between the type of artists as well. It's here for the long run and it's here to make money. You know what I mean? I've always said this from day dot. If you get into the artist industry and the music industry as an artist and you're only in it for the money and the fame and you want that and you work your ass off, you're going to get that. But once you get it, you're done. You're done. It's over. You don't go nowhere from there. But if you're in this industry every day to become a better writer every day, to become a fucking better performer every day, a better everything every day, you have a lifelong career, my brother. You know what I mean, bro? It's completely different breeds of artists in those two aspects, man. And we see them both every day. You know what I mean? And you even spot them out from a mile away every fucking day.
Oh, bro, and you can hear it in people's albums. You know, when they're coming up before they get signed to like Warner or whatever they're getting signed to, just how hungry they were and how, you know, you listen to those albums, you're like, this is just absolute fire. And then they get signed or whatever, they drop a few good singles and then all of a sudden, like, what are they doing?
Bro.
You know what I mean? You see it all the time. They're grinding, they're hungry, and then once they get the ball, they don't know what to do with it.
They drop it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's crazy too, which is why I was always like against the label thing and stuff too, because you see it makes a lot of people lose motivation because they think, a lot of artists seem to think once you sign to a label, you've made it. Nah, that's when you need to start working the hardest, because if you don't, they're just going to shelf you and you're still stuck in that 3-4 year contract, so you can't put no music out.
And
you know what I mean, bro?
You make no money, bro.
You also make no money because you've blown through your fucking advance because you think you've made it. You know what I mean? You think that money's going to come back, but it's not. If you get $1 million deal,
you're paying off the label.
Exactly, bro. Even that, if you get $1 million deal, one, you're actually walking away with $350K in your bank account after taxes. Number two, you've got to recoup that whole amount. You know what I mean? Like it's not a payment. You're not getting paid from them. It's an advance. It's a loan. At the end of the day, you have to pay that back with your records, with your albums. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of labels are shady. A lot of labels will tell you haven't recouped when you've recouped 2 years ago. This, that. You know what I mean? So it's a wild thing.
Oh, that's all right though, bro. I see so many people like just on Instagram and stuff, they just like sign into these little indie ass labels. Like some bar manager thought it was a good idea to start managing artists.
No shots,
bro.
but yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? 100%. Just like straight out, and they're just like, they got them in their bio, like management or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, I know the bar that cunt runs.
Bro, shout out, actually, bro, on saying that, shout out Frosty. Frosty put up a post the other day, right? Which I'm pretty sure I messaged you about because I found it funny. He put up in his story, he's like, some of you rappers are playing role play with your managers, man.
Yeah, for real.
On God, bro. On God. How do you feel about management in the industry, bro? Especially artists at, I guess, your level and artists like that, like we see level. Because I know you yourself, you actually have official proper management. Yeah. If you want to touch on that and whatnot. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's, as someone who has a manager, do you think it's something that is needed, or is it just beneficial at this stage?
I think maybe if you're from, someone who is well off, then you can do all the jobs yourself. Because money talks. But, in terms of management, they're filling so many different roles that you had to do yourself, especially when you're working a 9 to 5. Your manager, 9 times out of 10, that is their 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So having that availability to go back and forth with your manager, to handle your emails, to respond to business inquiries, to, formulate your writers, create your website, all your links, etc. That sort of stuff is just invaluable.
Very
you know what I mean?
consuming as well.
Oh, just takes off so much, bro.
Yeah. Of course. But do you think, like, obviously very, very valuable and takes up a lot of time, but do you think as an artist who's not really making any noise yet, not doing nothing, do you think, and say a manager approaches them and wants to manage them, do you think it's worth them giving up that cut at that stage? Or do you think they should sort of wait till they're making a little bit more noise so there's an actual reason and there's actually something for the manager to do? You know what I mean?
I think it just comes down to, I suppose, instinct. And your intuition, bro. Like your intuition, unless it's trash, but usually, your intuition is what's gonna like guide you to make the right decision. You're gonna be the only person who's gonna know whether it's time to take up this offer or if it's, nah, wait. You know what I mean? There's been times where I've had, good offers come up or whatever, but I just like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Like, you know what I mean? And then after that, things start falling in place. You know what I mean? So,
the reason why I asked that question, bro, is because it's like, as I said, the post we saw where they were kind of like, you rappers are playing role play with your managers and shit, man. Do you think like that really is what it is? Because a lot of these people who are putting their managers in their bio and it's just literally a bar owner or some cat with 200 followers that's got zero management experience. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't really know where I'm going with that, to be honest with you, bro. But like,
I just want to touch on that. Like, so like with your management, how do you pay for them? Do they take share? Like, royalties out of your music? Like, what happens with that? Like,
so my manager does take a certain percentage.
Yep.
And that's, I suppose, in turn for everything that I benefit from a manager. So like initially my manager is, I suppose, in a sense, until I'm doing a lot, you know, of high paid live shows or whatever, my manager is mostly doing a lot of the work, I suppose, in a sense, for like free, because they're helping to build your business, helping to build you as an artist, and then in turn, you know, create that relationship. And that's the big thing, you know, that sold me with, you know, my management, is that you know, his biggest thing was relationship.
Well,
and that was the key. There was nothing else that was above that, other than the fact that, you know, we need to be able to have that, you know, relationship, and be able to tell me if you're going through something, or you're feeling this way or whatever, because then I know when to, you know, push the brakes a bit.
Yep.
Give
Communication,
you some space.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing I was going to say, like, are you locked in for a certain amount of time with these guys? Because what happens if you were to blow up tomorrow and start making heaps of money, and then you just shaft them, and they've kind of done all that work? Yeah.
So
they've kind of done that work for you for free, and then you know.
So what when there's I think like a clause in contracts that if you decide to part ways in the contract, I think that there is a period of over the next 4 years that the management is still getting a certain percent that degrades each year until nothing.
Yep.
Actually, I do. Yeah. Because even the only way really out of that too is if a fucking, as you were saying, is if he blew up massive, and say a label wanted him, and that label wanted YAMBRA under that label's management. That label could have the money to just pay out his management. Boom, here's your 4-year payoff in one. Now he belongs to our label. Yeah, that's kind of the only way you could do it. Or if you got rich enough, you could be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Here's some money. I'm going to go work with someone else. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you know, I wouldn't. I love.
Yeah, no, of course not. Just using you as an example.
Yeah. But I'm just clarifying now.
Yeah, fucking no. So what? Are you able? Shout them out, bro. Who are you?
Yeah,
who's your manager?
Satellite 13.
Let's go.
That's who I'm under.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Be staying with them till the end, I reckon. So
loyalty, 100%, bro. 100%.
Loyalties, that's it.
100%, bro. 100%. So I want to get into the songwriting side of things, bro.
Yep.
So because I wanted to touch on this with our actually I won't say who yet, because you'll come before that. But what's it called with songwriting, bro? For you, what's your process when you're writing music, man? Do you sit there? Do you go through beats and see what you're feeling first? Do you do the lyrics first? Or what's your process there, and what do you look for before you start actually proceeding with the lyrics?
Right, like I honestly will almost never write unless I found a beat.
Yep.
Straight out. I will never sit there and like write a bunch of lyrics. Sometimes I write lyrics just because I'm like, oh, this could be good. But 9 times out of 10, I'll never use them.
Yep.
You know, so I never push myself to write. I usually like to keep 2 songs ahead of my last release.
Yeah.
I only write if I find the right beat that speaks to me. So, you know, melodies that just jump and just formulate naturally, or else, I'm not really writing or doing anything that's forced. Fucking
no. So was that always the same even when you were like starting poetry, bro? Did you ever just like sit there and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna write some poetry? Or did you have to be, because as you said, it was an outlet, did you have to be feeling something to be able to go into that?
Yeah, I'd have to be feeling something. Yeah. So a lot of my music is based on emotions, of course, and situations and stuff. But poetry is different because I could write poetry without having to have a beat.
Very true. I know a lot of big artists. I know even Justin Bieber as an artist to use. Starts off writing. It's good to use him to use an example for you, because him in the studio, he starts off writing bars when he's writing his music. He writes them as bars, right, as raps. And then he starts going through the beats with his producer and starts singing, chucking little melodies over it with the lyrics he's written the bars for. You know what I mean, man? Yeah, it's a fun fact for you.
Thanks for that, bro. I appreciate that.
Eats right.
I'll be sure to pass it on. Double it and give it to the next person.
Would you like one Justin Bieber to double it and pass it on to the next person?
Well, how does it feel to have your music played on Triple J or the radio or something when you've kind of only just...
Yeah, touch on that, guys.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I remember the first time. Shout out to Nookie, the brother boy, for putting it on Blackout.
I know, the bro called me Nate G. I don't know how I feel about bro.
He's deadly. Put me on Triple J is just crazy. Being able to hear myself on a national
after your first single too,
station, bro, like radio station is just insane. And just creating those genuine relationships, and that's like one of the biggest things is not just networking, but also knowing once you've networked who you can have those genuine relationships with. And those are the people who are going to, you know, keep an eye on you a bit more, you know, push your music a little bit more than, you know, just, you know, anyone else, you know. So like AU Dollars, Matty, like he got me on FBI radio, you know, Sydney, and just those sort of things, you know, like those little opportunities just spread, give that a little bit more exposure.
Which is cool too, because the scene here was never like that 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It was there was no one looking out for anyone. It was a crab in the bucket situation, and it very, very much still is in a lot of areas in this industry, bro. But it's a lot better. Like even AU Dollars getting you on FBI radio and just people in the industry looking out for each other like that, bro. It just was non-existent back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It would have been very, very interesting to see how that new R&B sound that wasn't here in Australia yet, if you tried to start that back then. Because I guarantee you there still would have been the same support and stuff in terms of listeners, but I don't know if the media would have been as supportive because it just wasn't there back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would have been crazy to see how it would have popped off instead, you know what I mean, man? Cause yeah, bro.
Well, I think there's still like a bit of gatekeeping in that going on. Like, you see, you get the standard stuff of, you know, like all these editor / publish accounts, publishing Instagram accounts, you know, the music accounts. You know, most of their posts are getting pushed towards the artists that are getting ran from labels, you know what I mean? So you're just seeing half of that stuff, unless you're paying for it yourself for them to post you. Like half of the time, other than AU Dollars, to be honest, you know, that's my opinion anyway, other than AU Dollars, who does go local, who does push, you know, local artists themselves on their own accord without getting, you know, money or getting paid, you know, in Instagram DMs, bro. They do it for the love of hip hop and music.
And the only problem there with AU Dollars being the only ones to do it is because they're the only ones to do it, and artists know that. All artists try to get their stuff on there because they know AU Dollars are the only ones that are going to show love. But because of that fact, because AU Dollars is happy to show love and put everyone on, it doesn't, and all love and I love AU Dollars, I love Matty. This is not a diss to them at all. But the only place where it goes wrong for them a little bit in that aspect of putting every artist on is every artist gets put on. So it's, you know what I mean, bro? So, and if that would be fine if there was, and it will happen, you know what I mean? We're trying to get there. When it gets to a point to where there are other media outlets out there to where they can put on artists and shit, they're not all going to the same platform. Do you know what I mean? A repost and shit like that from people, a platform like AU Dollars and stuff is going to mean so much more 2-3 years from now than it does now. You know what I mean,
100%, bro. Like the way that they're doing it is just like incredible, because not only are they able to stay in the loop and on top of Melbourne's music game,
Australia,
right?
In general.
Well, Australia, Australia. But they're able to push the local artists and still have commercialized artists come through, you know, some big names, and they're still like, it's still like, you know, 50-50, like it's equal, you know what I mean? You're not 100%. Seeing, you know, a lot of these other places, you know, Instagram accounts, whatever you'd call them. It's just all commercial artists. You know what I mean? You know, you would never get on half of those, like, without being ran, you know, under a label. That is saying, hey, you know, our artist has to roll out albums. Get on your shit, boy.
Come on your podcast to roll out his album. This, that. Yeah, of course, man. It's fucking. And I could name a few outlets from Australia that do that right off the top of my head right now. I won't, but fuck y'all. You know what I mean? On God, man. But I really have a lot of respect for AU Dollars, though. They actually are a big inspiration on why I decided to do a podcast after stepping away from music, because I realized they are all that's there. You know what I mean? So when I was kind of like figuring out where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, that was sort of helped a little bit make up my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucking wasn't sure if I wanted to do clothing, a podcast, fucking be a drummer, rapper pum type shit, bro.
Let's plug the boy over here.
As brothers. Yeah. We're gonna have some samples of that next episode, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Talk about. Let's hear a little bit about that, Liam. You might as well get it in, bro.
Me and the main boy Bowie from Scotland.
Shout out Bowie.
Bowie.
Got a clothing brand coming soon as brothers.
Yes,
sir. Can't really say too much now. But sooner rather than later.
Eyes out. Keep the eyes open.
Yes, sir. We'll have the link in the bio for their Instagram for this episode. We'll put the Instagram link in the bio. Yeah. Fucking nice. Yeah, man, that shit's fucking crazy, bro. Bro, when are you gonna drop some merch or something, man?
When I get bigger, bro, like
you don't need to be bigger. Merch is best.
Yeah, I know. Like, and you know what? Like, if
as brothers,
there'll be a crossover.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Surely.
Bro,
yeah.
It's the best to put out merch when you're coming up because it's one of the ways that's gonna give you money to reinvest in your career.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That's why merch is the best to do when at this stage. You know what I mean, bro? And you have, like, you're not huge, bro. You're not famous yet, but you have that supporting fan base already that will we'll cop a hoodie, we'll cop a hat. You know what I mean, bro? Like, and then that's money in your pocket to invest into a studio session or a video or a promotion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I definitely need to start getting something going soon.
Yeah, bro.
Because I have had the opportunities of, I think, the festival that I'm about to do, we are tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And the last one that I done at City Myer Ball, Share the Spirit on Invasion Day.
Yep.
A lot of these festivals have, given that opportunity for artists to have their merch there and collect 100%. So none of it's getting taxed from the event itself.
The event,
so those sort of opportunities definitely need to,
even just having it, man. I got a lot of homies merch, you know what I mean? Like, a few of the boys are up. I've got beanies with their names on it. I've got, you know what I mean, shirts, just that.
Yeah.
I won't even, by the end of it, I won't even look at it as a merch shit. It's just hanging up in my wardrobe as a shirt to where I chuck it on. I'm now going about my day, going to all the shops, walking out in public, with the homies brand on me. You know what I mean, man? Exactly. It's what it is. Like, you get enough people walking in that, man. Like, and I know it really happens in the way of you walking in the street. And how many times have you seen it doesn't have to be merch necessarily. How many times have you been walking in the street or being at the shop or somewhere in public and you see someone's drip and you're like, damn, that hoodie's fresh or those jeans are sick or something. You think in your head, you know what I mean? It happens with merch, cuz, and it's like, and it makes you check it out and then you're like, oh shit, this motherfucker makes dope music. You hear me, bro? Like, yeah, man. I think merch would be a fire idea for you. Especially like hats or beanies, something on brand. You know what I mean, lad? Or a black hoodie or something, bro.
I'll probably bring out some hoodies.
Yeah, fucking
hoodies in a bum bag.
Yes, bro. Bum bags. Fucking Shay.
Just want to touch on what was the Sydney Music Myer Bowl? What was that?
Let's touch on that.
That was actually a really good day. So many different artists from everywhere. I just want to touch on that Indigenous side, like everyone from all different mobs and stuff. What's your story on that side?
So my mob's from Central Victoria, Jar Jar Wurrung, Jara people, Crow people. So that's where I grew up. So Share the Spirit itself was just, I suppose for me was a day to create sort of an inclusive place for mob to connect and not have
share the spirit, I guess. Huh?
Like share that spirit, exactly. You know what I mean, and not, have to spend Invasion Day, January 26th, Australia Day, as a necessarily like a day of mourning. It is, but it's creating a place where positivity can be built and
100%.
Be around, come together and be around, your mob and. Listen to beautiful music from some incredible artists.
Oh, bro, it was beautiful.
It was such a different, wide variety of artists as well.
It was a very, very different experience for me too. Like, one being the biggest stage I've ever played on, but also being a part of such a cultural event too. Like knowing the way you and I perform on stage, but we're a fucking rowdy bunch, right?
Yeah.
But then it was cool to like, sort of you're starting to get nervous backstage as your set's coming up and shit. But even as we were sitting on the sidelines watching them do the I don't know exactly what it's called, the where they burn the leaves and stuff.
Oh,
the
smoking ceremony.
The smoking ceremony right before you, even stuff like that, bro. It's kind of like that's not something you used to kind of seeing before you jump on stage and stuff. Even that was so different and beautiful to be a part of as well. Is that something they do every year, the Share the Spirit Festival on Invasion Day?
Not too sure, to be honest.
True.
I think it might be a different name each time.
Each year, but it's still based around Aboriginal culture and music and beautiful, bro. Fucking oath.
It's a pretty crazy event.
Does any of does it actually, just curiosity, I've never asked you this. Does any of your cultural and Aboriginal background, bro, does any of that ever come out as influence in your music at all, do you think?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I probably will.
Yeah, beautiful.
But yeah, no, sort of just sticking more towards just
I suppose
my style, my sound. You know?
I suppose when it's the right song, you're going to know when to... 100%.
But I think, bro. It definitely has influenced my journey to music. You know, I grew up doing traditional dances and, you know, I suppose being like well acquainted with rhythm and sound, you know, from a young age.
On that, did it help sort of guide that journey as well into when was the right time to actually enter in it and stuff? Because I know you, bro, you're very, what's it called? You're very, there's either like you get two YAMBRAs, there's very like straight up, straightforward. Like if you fuck me around too much, I'm gonna wish death on you. This that, bro. No, I'm playing, but then also it's kind of like a very in touch with yourself, YAMBRA, bro. You know what I mean? And very self-aware and very in your own head a lot of times about good things and bad things. Do you think that helps your journey, like into starting an artist and finally picking up the mic proper? Do you feel like that is what helped you realize where you were meant to be and what you were meant to do?
Yeah. I think, I suppose becoming a little bit more self-aware, is key to anything, you know, like before, you know, when you're saying picking up the mic for the first time or whatnot, dealing with those type of emotions or anxiety or stress, etc., and like, you know, finding ways to help you navigate that, you know, so things like
Mm.
meditating, gratitude journals and manifesting.
Huge,
just instrumental
into
being able to become more confident. You know
massive.
What I mean?
It's massive.
It's all a head game, bro.
It is, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it's huge too. Like when you say manifestation, and it is a massive head game, because a lot of people, when they hear manifestation and hear what it is and shit, they think it's all cap, because they're sitting there telling themselves in the mirror for 2 hours, I will make $1 million, I will make $1 million, and it doesn't come true, because they don't realize that for manifestation to work, it needs to come hand in hand with action. You know what I mean, bro? And so I guess that's where the self-awareness starts to pick up as well, because you were manifesting already when you were fucking young writing poetry. You knew what was going to happen, but then as you said, you picked up the mic and you started dealing with those emotions, became self-aware. You know, bro, so art is crazy when you really think about it that way, man. It's mental, because not everyone has that moment, bro. Like not everyone wants to be an artist or is going to be an artist, but everyone has that moment to where they pick up a tool, they pick up something and they're like, this is what I'm meant to do. You know what I mean, bro? Like it's fucking insane.
It is wild.
Yeah, bro. Did you have anything you wanna fucking touch on, bro? Yeah. What's fucking actually, good question I wanted to touch on you, bro. When are you going to put out a fucking actual project, like an album or an EP? Is that coming in the near future or?
No.
Nah? What's the thought process there?
So if any of you guys are waiting for it, it ain't happening.
Suck a dick. What's the thought process there? Why don't you want to do that?
Just want to make sure that I've got a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you know, bigger following, bigger fan base, and people who actually want to listen. I don't want to release an album or even an EP for it to fall on deaf ears.
Do you think it's good to have an EP there, even if it may fall on deaf ears to begin with? Do you think it's good to have there as part of your catalogue for people to come back to once you do have that thing that makes you blow? So you've already got that catalogue to come back on? No, you don't think so?
I think for me, I'd rather blow up and have the catalogue I do as minimal as
singles?
It is. Singles. Yeah. And then if I do get that type of exposure, then I'll drop something.
Yeah.
Like now you're ready for something.
100%. And I think it was Melbourne who said the same thing, bro. And that dude is fucking already huge, you know what I mean? And even he's sitting there saying, "No, I'm not big enough to put out a project yet."
Yeah.
You know what I don't know what the fuck do you mean, bro? You know what I mean? So it's very, man, you can tell you're locked on in terms of making the right fucking decisions and quality over quantity. You know what I mean, bro? Because I think you're well aware, bro, if you were to do what I was telling you about that bloke from the States, he's put out like fucking 30 EPs and is making like 30K a month because it's just so much music being streamed a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think you're very aware if you do that, you could do the same thing because you actually make good music.
Yeah.
Or whether it would be the quality of music you want out there sort of thing. know isn't a definite and a guarantee.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
You can't be in control when you're releasing that much music that frequently.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean, bro? So it's cool. It's cool that you're in it. You can tell from that you're in it for the long game, and we're gonna be watching you for a while. You know what I mean, bro?
Well, I mean, like I've got songs that are already like full songs written. I've got the license for them, etc. And they'll probably never ever get recorded or released.
I'm the same, bro.
Because sometimes I just go, this is not the one. Like
and
this one doesn't need to be heard.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And you have to be like that. You can't put out everything you make. You know, you can't do it. And that was one of the biggest things I was taught from the beginning of my career when I first became an artist. Because what I would do, right, is like I've got a vault. You've seen it, but I've got a vault sitting there with like 40 unreleased songs in it at the moment. But back when I first started, I could never do that. What I would do is I would go record the song, listen to it for 2 days, and then just drop it. You know what I mean? On SoundCloud, Facebook, whatever, then just put it out. No promotion, nothing. You know what I mean, bro? And then I'm like, why the fuck is my music not doing it? Why does no one know this exists? Well, you didn't tell no cunt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, bro? So it's a very big factor that you can't be anti, and it took a lot of people around me to like start, you know what I mean? I had to open my ears, do a lot less talking and a lot more listening when it came to that, bro, because you can't put out everything you drop, because everything you write and everything you do isn't for you. You know what I mean, bro? Isn't for your sound. So yeah, bro, it's a
when you sit on tracks that you've put money into as well, does that annoy you that you've wasted that money on something that you probably won't release, or would you rather trial and error?
I don't know, because I'm sure I'll get value out of them at some stage, because I'll probably do.
You still got that experience on top of it.
I may just turn it into like an acoustic piece. But you know what I mean? So then it can go on like an acoustic EP.
Yeah, but even if not, bro, even if you put the money into that license and that track and you never touch it, like it never sees a light of day. It's still not a waste, in my opinion, because
a learning curve. Or
it's a learning, and you've gotten that experience, you've gotten that recording experience, you've gotten some more hours in your 10,000 hours you need to put in. You know what I mean, bro? Like nothing is a waste of money in the industry. You know what I mean, bro? It's just everything's a learning curve, and everything is trial and error, because this fucking music shit costs mad bread. You know what I mean? That's just
even just license fees, you know, for a WAV, I mean, you're probably paying like $60 or something. And, you know, what's the loss in that?
Yeah,
you know, exactly, $60 and then never making something from it. But it's like trying a new food, you know, going out and trying a different cuisine and then going, I don't actually like it.
Exactly. But you're gonna
at least you tried it. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. That's why a lot of the shit I used to do, bro, because of the fact that rap shit costs mad bread, is I used to, with my beats, if I found a beat before I'd buy the license, even if I'd written a track to it, before I'd buy the license, I'd go and record the track in the studio with the unlicensed version. And then if I'm like, after it's done, after a couple of days, if I'm like, okay, this is a song I'm going to put out, or this is something I'm going to do a video for, but this is definitely something I'm going to put out at some point, that's when I'll go and buy the license. You know what I mean? Like when I know for sure I'm going to put it out, then I'll buy the license, because it's nothing for an engineer to just delete the version you've ripped and put the version on that's licensed.
Exactly.
It's nothing for them to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, it's definitely ways around it. But I think we got about 10. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left, bro. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
What's next for YAMBRA?
What's next?
Yeah. What is next for YAMBRA? But so
more music videos.
Yes, more visuals.
Yeah, more visuals.
Yeah,
and do it all proper. I mean, there's a few things I need to catch up on, bro. I haven't even uploaded half my new tracks to my YouTube. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's, you know, I'll get to a point where I start running it properly, like more businessy, making sure everything's done and checklisted. But yeah, I think just more live shows.
Hell yes.
More visuals, and just new and improved.
Looking forward
with
to
each
it.
track.
YAMBRA 2.0. Yeah. Fucking oath. We might end it there, brother, if you're all right with that.
Perfect.
If you want to touch on. Yeah, fucking oath. So I just want to make sure we're not forgetting anything at all. We are, now we. No. Yeah, beautiful, bro. Thank you for coming in. Good to finally get an episode in with you and
Thank
shit,
you so
bro.
much, boys.
Legendary, bro. Legendary episode. You guys at home, thank you so much for watching again. A reminder to subscribe, because if we tell y'all to do that, you actually do it apparently. So let's run it. Take it easy, fam, and we'll see you next episode. Peace.